everyone, King Pyro 44 here, back with another counter guide. In today's guide, I'm going to explain how to counter everyone's favorite Brit and the most elusive hero in Overwatch, Tracer. A good Tracer player can easily seem almost unhittable, and that can be really annoying. But with some simple research and understanding of her abilities, you'll be able to catch and counter the speedy pilot with no problem at all. Okay, so to counter Tracer, we need to take a look at her abilities and what makes her so strong. So obviously the thing that separates Tracer from the other heroes is her movement abilities. We are talking about her blinks, which she has 3 charges of, and her recall, which allows her to displace herself 3 seconds back in time, restoring health and ammo. Tracer also does a nice amount of damage if she is close enough to her target, making her really dangerous to low health heroes, especially those who can't put that much damage on her. That includes most of the supports: Lucio, Zenyatta, Ana, Symmetra, and especially Mercy. The Tracer on the enemy team is going to try and get the back line of your team and just wreak havoc while the rest of her team pushes through the front line. Now that we've taken a look at some of Tracer's strengths, let's look at some of her weaknesses and see how we can take advantage of them with certain heroes. Tracer looks and is extremely fragile. Her health sits at only 150 damage. That's nothing, and it can be taken out very easily. Next, if Tracer is at range, she will not do too much damage. Another thing we can take a look at is that while her blink ability has 3 charges and is up pretty often, if she uses all 3 in succession, this gives you about a 3-second window to attack her without her being able to blink away. Another thing is her recall ability. Once used, she has to wait 12 seconds before using it again. So that gives you another opportunity to finish off Tracer. One last thing to take a look at is that her blink can only move her 7 meters in any direction except up, meaning you can predict how far she will move when she blinks, therefore giving you the ability to sort of fire where she's going to be, not where she is. Okay, so we looked at the strengths and weaknesses of Tracer, so let's take a look at some of the heroes that we can use and strategies to counter Tracer. Winston is a great counter to Tracer for the same reason that he's a good counter to Genji. We made a how to counter Genji guide. I'll put it in the link in a card in the top right corner, so go ahead and check that out. He is as mobile as her and can deal the amount of damage necessary to Tracer without being at risk to dying to Tracer's burst damage up close. McCree is Tracer's worst nightmare. If he can hit her with a flashbang and fan the hammer, or even headshot her, there's a good chance that she's going to be dead. Genji himself is actually a considerable counter to Tracer. He has high mobility, which means he can keep up with her, and he does a great amount of burst damage, making it easy to tear through her 150 HP. Both Torbjorn and Bastion are also great counters to Tracer because Torbjorn's turrets and Bastion himself can deny Tracer entry into certain areas. Tracer can't escape the auto lock on that Torbjorn's turrets have, and Bastion can just light her up the second she steps out from hiding. You do want to be careful of Tracer's pulse bomb ultimate, as it can be a simple way for her to take out the turrets and Bastion. Now, a counter that works mainly for the pros is Roadhog. If he lands his hook on Tracer, she is as good as dead unless she recalls in time. There is absolutely no way for her to survive a point blank shot from Roadhog's scratch gun. Some strategies we can use to counter Tracer is, much like Genji and Mei, you don't want to face her one-on-one unless you are a tank. All of the tanks are fine against Tracer, as she cannot do an extreme amount of damage to them unless she gets into close range, and that is a danger when facing the tanks of Overwatch. If you are, however, playing a squishier role like support, try and stay close to your team and call out when you see an enemy Tracer. Chances are she's going to be aiming for you to take you guys out so that the tanks in the front line have nothing supporting them. Using turrets can also be a good way to deny Tracer. We discussed that previously with Torbjorn's turrets and Bastion, but Symmetra's turrets can slow her down a bit and do a nice amount of damage to Tracer as well. Also, something to consider is burst damage. Burst damage is one of the quickest ways to get rid of Tracer, as like we've said previously, she only has 150 health, so Junkrat, Pharah, Reaper, anyone that can do really good burst damage would be nice picks against her. Well, that's how you counter Tracer. Good luck out there in Overwatch. Let me know in the comments below if you have any tips for dealing with Tracer and if this video helped you. Remember to like the video, and if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. I'm King Pyro 44 and I'm out of here. Peace.